Hello everybody, I'm Krasi Attasio, and I have very interesting topic. It is about the good people, the good moral values and qualities and longevity. And this talk now is inspired by a statement made by very famous heart surgeon, chirurg, Bulgarian. His name is Professor Chirkov, who made a statement that people who experience envy, who hate, who experience hatred, develop earlier in their lives cancer and heart diseases, and thus they die earlier. So he made this statement, and he's a very famous, very well experienced and known and loved by the people surgeon in Bulgaria. And I thought I should check this astrologically because this made perfect sense to me. And because if I prove this astrologically to myself, to you, this is quite inspiring to do good, to have only good feelings and thoughts. And this way we will maintain good health. And of course, as a result, if we want, we will also live longer. So in this way, we are partially controlling our destinies, not entirely, of course, because we all come here with our karmas, with our karmic lessons, but partially we can, with our thoughts, with our attitude towards others, towards ourselves, we can, to a very large degree, influence our health, longevity, and happiness. So what is Professor Dr. Chirkov saying is that when people experience bad emotions, envy, hatred, they develop diseases, heart diseases, Venus, and because Venus is associated with love, and also they develop cancer very often. And I can prove this astrologically. I have seen many cases, of course, when looking at, I will tell you something. In the ancient times, this is something very interesting. People would be, and I'm talking about ancient, very ancient times, like Mesopotamia, like 5,500 years ago. People would be ashamed to admit that they are ill, that they are sick, because this would mean that they have quality or emotional disbalance that they need to deal with, that they need to fix, that there is some aspect in their character, in their attitude, in their moral values that needs to be fixed. And therefore it was really a shame to admit that you are sick, and it was really so. So they would look at the diseases from a very spiritual and perspective, and of course astrological. And I will show you, I will share my screen with you, and I will show you two very illustrative cases which would prove exactly this, that we are authors of our own health through our behavior, through our value system, through our personal thoughts and attitudes. Before that, I will tell you also something amazing. There is this, I think it was Anubio, the very ancient astrological astrologer author, I think first century after Christ, who is analyzing the aspects between the planets. And there is this aspect, the most beautiful aspect that you can meet in a horoscope is the trine between Jupiter and Venus. And he is saying the following. When you see this trine, that or any other harmonious aspect between Jupiter and Venus, and he's saying, and the prayers of the native will be heard by the gods. So what you want more? But actually, what is this meaning? Not solely that we look at the aspect on the sky between Venus and Jupiter and in the people's charts, but it is so that this aspect, especially when aspecting the ascendant or the moon of the native, would mean that the person is having very decent character, that he is lovable, that he loves people, that he's empathic, that he is good, that his character is easy and sweet and nice. This is valid if you see the conjunction between Jupiter and Venus, even the square, because especially if they aspect the ascendant. So what is this saying? The person is having aspect between Jupiter and Venus, and these two planets are also aspecting the ascendant. Or this can work if they're in conjunction to the, and they make opposition to the ascendant. This works also beautifully. This denotes beautiful features. The person will be not only beautiful as facial characteristics, for example, but will have beautiful soul. And what is this saying? The prayers of the native will be heard by the gods. Why? It is something that it goes like perfect harmony, in perfect harmony. Now the native has beautiful features, doesn't harm others, has sweet, empathic, merciful heart, and therefore, as a result, his or her prayers will be heard by the gods, by the spirit world. This would say that everything is like connected. It is perfectly corresponding to what is happening in the sky, what is happening in our charts, in our lives. So it's very important that we understand with this. Before I share my screen with you to show you interesting examples, it is it is nice to understand, and maybe it is very encouraging for those who do good, who are sweet with people, that when we are good, when we are empathic, when we are not doubtful whether to help others or not, and this comes from beautiful placement in the chart or not, if we learn to do this, then the spirit world is helping, and we have better lives and better health and so on. Of course, I will illustrate this, but I'm telling you what I found in the ancient texts, and also through my astrological experience, I found that this works perfectly well. It's not only as something that I found in the literature, it just works, that when person is having harmonious aspect between Jupiter and Venus, as a result, he or she has a good heart, and as a result, he or she has better health and better destiny, because then the gods hear the prayers of this person. So what is happening when we have the opposite cases? When the person is evil, jealous, harms others, easily would harm their feelings, would be envious, would not like the other people to be happy. We have such people as well. And this leads, according to Professor Chirkov, the heart surgeon, the amazing, very loved by the people in Bulgaria heart surgeon, this would lead to shorter lifespan and to heart diseases and cancer. And I'm sharing my screen with you, and I will show you, actually, this will be just, I will share with you the screen of my Bulgarian website, where I made an article on this. So, and I have a beautiful illustration of two horoscopes, and I am sharing now. Look, this is horoscope number 1. Don't worry from the complex chart. I admit I didn't simplify it, but I will point towards the interesting aspects which actually describe what I'm trying to tell you. Now, don't worry about too many features. Ignore them. Ignore them. Look only at Mercury and look only at Saturn, and they're forming a square. And what we know about this person, and this is a person that, of course, I will not name, it's somebody I knew, and this person I know for sure that has developed cancer. He will recover because of things that I will explain you, and because he's learning to become a good person. But what is interesting here is, look, we're having Saturn and Mercury square, and Mercury is detriment because it's against his own sign, which is Virgo. And also Saturn right now, Saturn is also not in it's in the 6th house. See, this is Saturn, and it's peregrine, doesn't have any specific dignities in this chart, just the other way around. Saturn is weakening the health and is creating a square to Mercury. And also Saturn is Almuten. Look at my other video. I explained what Almuten is, and Saturn as Almuten is describing, it's like the planet which mostly describe the person. It's like when Saturn is Almuten, the person is very Saturnian, Saturnine. The person would have melancholic thoughts, will be more on the negative side of thinking than on the positive. And in this, we can say that Saturn is very much influencing the attitude and the thoughts of this person. But what is also the ancient text saying? Saturn square Mercury is creating, I'm quoting, these are not my thoughts, it's creating people who are stupid, envious, and jealous. Of course, don't take this personal if you have such square. It also depends how Saturn is placed, how Mercury is placed. In this case, they are placed in a way which says that the person is easier envious, doesn't like the others to grow or to be lucky and happy. And this, as a result, the person, because of this square, the person developed a gout disease and the person developed cancer. And now right away he has his Saturn in return and the situation is not good. I am certain that he will survive this situation because Venus is watching, she's softening, and she will help him to realize, and also the trend between Jupiter and Venus that I spoke about, he will help him to realize that to love others, to help, to choose love instead of envy would be important for his own well-being and for his own health. But look, he developed cancer because of his attitude towards others, which is envy and jealousy. And this is the result. Well, as I told you, here is also the key. And the key is between Jupiter and Venus, and he will be okay. This I know for sure because I also checked his future directions, and I certainly for sure can say that he will be okay and he will survive cancer. But still, he went through this terrible, difficult event in his life. So this is to illustrate the example on how important it is that we are good. Now let's see another example. And here, this is the chart of the famous, I think, Brazilian medium, Chico Xavier, who was amazing. He was known for his love to people. He would make very high incomes with his mediumship, but he would donate all his money to the poor. He would, all his life, he would take care of people. And he would die, I think he died when he was 95. He would write books, and the incomes from this book he would donate to people. He was lovely, amazing person with very, very interesting biography, and it's really worth it to look at his chart. What do you see here? He lived up till 95, and look, Jupiter is trining Venus, and Jupiter is aspecting the ascendant, and with this it is a very promising, beautiful personality of somebody who loved people, who was never envious, who was never jealous. And with this he prolonged his life to 95. Whether we want this or not is absolutely another story. Maybe some people would say, yeah, I don't want to live that long. This is also possible, of course. And the other thing is that it is in our hands to prolong our lives. So note, through our behavior, through our thoughts. Now, there is another thing in astrology, which is, of course, the Alcocoden, and I'll stop sharing. Now, the Alcocoden, from Arabic, I think the translation was the giver of the ages, or the river of life, something like that. I forgot the exact translation, but this was something like that. Al-Kalkutha would mean this, or something like that. Now, the thing is that the Alcocoden is the giver of life, is the giver of the years, and there is a way to calculate how long the person would live. Of course, I don't advise any astrologer, absolutely no way to do this. And when people would come, I had oftentimes people would come and say, would I live long? I'm not looking into this because it is not good to program anyone's mind towards a certain lifespan. It's really not good to do. It's just good that we understand that the longevity, the time that we will spend on earth is very much, to a large degree, not entirely up to us, because there is karma, and we come here knowing before upfront how long are we going to stay on earth, but how the quality of life depends on our attitude, moral behavior, moral values, whether we'll be envious. If we're envious, Dr. Chirkov said, you're going to harm your heart. Then you're going to suffer heart diseases, because the envy is harming Venus, and Venus is responding to the love. And also another thing is wonderful, on enhancing this, we can connect with the sky, enhancing certain qualities through connecting with the sky, welcoming the sun, and with this we will support our life, our overall well-being. Through connecting with Venus, we enhance the love, and this is the love of the God. Through looking at Sirius, for example, in August, look at my other video, Sirius is rising, we will enhance our wisdom. When we do these three, we did a lot already in our lives, and we will certainly learn and know how to work out certain features in our horoscopes. And of course, knowledge is power. Know your horoscopes, and then know what to work on. If it's not necessary that all of us have this trine or conjunction or sextile between Jupiter and Venus, it's not necessary. But if we don't have it, then we create it the other way around. So this is what I wanted to tell you. I was very inspired by this article of the Bulgarian surgeon, and I think he's right, and astrologically it proves to be right. And I hope this is inspiring also to you to live healthier life through being a better person, and this way the gods will hear the prayers of the native. So thank you. Your comments are very, very welcome. Please comment. I would love it. Thank you.